Hi, it's me, SAMIA ihtgw. I'm just here again, just finishing off this interview. I didn't really answer the question properly, so I went into the ethical trade and why and what I do within it, and what the whole and how it kind of the whole purpose of it, I suppose. So I'm just recording to my own computer because yeah, I'll explain it in the blog why. So I started talking about ethical trade a few years ago, and it kind of when I talk about ethical trade, ethics in fashion, I'm not just talking about the way the garments are made. I'm talking about the whole story of what it injects as well, what fashion injects into I suppose society, into people, and it's not a case of just it being about just using cheap labour. It's also what it's doing to people, and how people are perceiving it and how people are using it, and I'm still working with the whole ethical creating. At the moment I'm just simply creating awareness of ethical trade and how it's being used, and like unethical trade and how it's used, and the way cheap labour is used in the fashion industry, and how it just has no limits really. It's because what's happened is in the last 10 years manufacturing production has speeded up. So that means that the high street wants clothes made more faster, and then that means pressure goes back down to the production in Vietnam, India, China, other Eastern countries, or even in some European. There are factories in London even, and in England, and possibly in other parts of Europe where this goes on as well, and the manufacturer he pushes the workers really hard, and the workers have to experience a lot of hardship, I suppose. They earn a lot of money, they get paid pennies literally, and after that they also experience abuse in different forms, I suppose just general abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and it goes on. It doesn't end. Women have to have abortions, they're forced to have abortions sometimes. Women are actually the main victims of this industry as well, and they also they experience hardships in lots of other forms. Abuse goes, it goes from abortion, being forced to have an abortion, to possibly being beaten up, and then being raped as well. And then these things just are, and also because of, like I said, the manufacturing has speeded up so much. The demand, customers are demanding more clothes here, so that means that and they want them cheaper as well. And that's obviously really good for the retailer, because they have to keep on, they'll keep on making lots more money, but that just means they need lots of garments, and that means the production has to be speeded up, and this is why there's so much pressure on the maker, and no one wants to really, not many people want to acknowledge the maker. They don't want to hear about it. Your garments don't just appear in the shop just out of nowhere, that they come from somewhere. Someone's growing the cotton, and the cotton's another story in itself. There's kids who kids are the victims of that of making cotton picking. They some of these kids, lots of these kids miss out on the summer holidays, and not only kids but adults also do cotton picking as well, and obviously they experience their own types of hardships in working in these types of ways. So this list, it just is kind of endless in a way. It just keeps on you know, and because there's just no, I mean, the high street is just, it's just not ending at the moment. There's new shops opening all the time that are using cheap labour, and yeah, and then the next part is the whole unethical, the way unethical, the projection of fashion and how unethically the image and what it projects, and how it sort of forces people to consume, and that's the whole point of it, really. That's another issue that I talk about, the whole sort of deception of the image of fashion that it portrays, you know, from high-end fashion to just high street fashion, which copies the high-end fashion. You know, it's all very delusional, really, and so that's another issue that I try to combat in what I do.